If you're like most Americans, you've had the dreaded thought of, am I going to have enough money until my next payday? Will I be able to pay my bills, my debts, put food on the table for my kids? That may be a little drastic. However, if you're like most Americans, you may have been faced with some financial pressures at some point during your life. Sadly, this is all far way too common for many American families. According to the report from the Pew and Charitable Trust website in 2015, 8 in 10 Americans have debt, with their mortgage being their primary liability. Now, nearly 7 in 10 Americans have debt, and they say it's a necessity. They feel they're conflicted about debt, and they say debt is a necessity in their life, even though they prefer not to have it, interestingly enough. Now, as far as my experience with money is concerned, my wife and I, we didn't have a whole lot of money growing up. We quickly had kids. I was working a minimum wage job while I was in school. My wife was pregnant. She was actually in school herself. This motivated us to want to get ahead financially, learn about money, and learn how to create a budget so we can better ourselves and get this stress out of our life. So even though debt to many people can seem like quite the norm, it doesn't have to be. We can learn how to handle our money and in return, like I mentioned earlier, live happier and richer lives. Today I will share information about how the benefits of saving money can go a long way in our lives, discuss how people are conditioned to spend rather than save, and I'll also suggest some strategies for saving and growing our money. To help understand our finances, and it's important, let's first discuss saving money and how it can go a long way in our lives. Who better to ask for financial advice than financial guru Dave Ramsey himself? Dave Ramsey says when just starting out, according to his website at daveramsey.com, from where they sit, folks don't always understand the why behind budgeting on paper, on purpose, every month. They don't recognize all the benefits of giving every dollar a name. Ramsey goes on to say that there are key benefits, and he mentions each one. The first benefit being the obvious one, the financial benefit. He states that having a zero-based budget, which means not letting your expenditures go past your income, staying within budget and and staying within those parameters is very important. He also says to assign every dollar a job, give every dollar a name, right? The second benefit is the spiritual benefit. He mentions how money touches a deep part inside all of us. He compares it to a magnifying glass, revealing our character, right? So money quite often shows people's colors, true colors, and their true character, whether good or bad. The third benefit he gives is a relational benefit. The number one cause for divorce is money issues. Money is like a double-edged sword, right? It can either help families or it can greatly hurt them as well. So it's important to get on the right side of things. The fourth benefit he mentions is the emotional benefit. Running out of money is stressful, which is the main reason why he advises us to stick to a budget and create one to begin with. And this is going to, in return, limit our stress. Now that we know the benefits of how saving money can go a long way, let's discuss how people are conditioned to spend their money rather than save their money. People who make bad decisions financially, they often lack the mindset, both figuratively and actually literally too. So according to the website moneycrashers.com, Suzanne Kearns mentions in a study conducted by Rick Clyde and Lowenstein, published in the Journal of Consumer Research, participants' brains were scanned as they pretended to make buying decisions. Researchers observed an activity in an area of the brain called the insula, which is stimulated when you experience something unpleasant. So the more stimulation going on in your brain in the insula, the less likely you are to keep doing what you were doing. When it comes to money, insula can help stop your spending. So the study goes on to mention that, on the other hand, savers who have money in the bank, that can also give them an immense sense of pleasure as well by having that satisfaction of security, so to speak. The spenders, according to the Money Crashers website, in an early experiment in children in the 1960s, they did what was called the marshmallow experiment. They placed a marshmallow in front of each child, and they said, you can either eat that marshmallow right now, Or you can wait a little bit and we'll give you a second marshmallow. As you can imagine, yes, many of the kids did eat their marshmallow right away. However, those who did wait and they delayed their gratification, they received a second marshmallow. The funny thing is that they not only did this experiment, but they researched the children all the way up until adulthood, and they noticed that these adults, they actually were more successful than those who didn't delay the gratification. Those who wanted what they could have right away. Those people were less successful. So the spenders, the savers, on the other hand, was resulted in an adult experiment. So that had to do with money. And the researchers said, we'll give every adult $50 right now. Right now, you can take it. Or if you wait a year, you can have $100 just by delaying the gratification and delaying the impulse. We will give you $100 a year later. As you can imagine, yeah, many people did take the money right away. So next I want to point out is that instant gratification versus patience is pivotal in becoming successful with handling one's money. Next, I will discuss strategies for saving and growing one's money. For my third point, I will provide how we can make the most of our money as Americans. There are many great ways to save that relate to expenditures, credit, debt, and recurring bills, to name a few. According to Marcy Geffner from Bankrate.com, she states to pay yourself first. By setting aside money out of every paycheck, we're able to make it automatic, and we make it less painful, and it's less forceful. Is the way I like to see it. Geffner states, spend less, save more. She says whether we're going to get a pricey haircut at that hair salon, daily premium coffee, or maybe we're trying to buy something overly expensive at the retail store or sporting goods store, what we're able to do is most people can find things that are cheaper and not as pricey. Recurring bills such as your mortgage, your car loan, we can refinance these things. We can save money. There's ways to save money. The latte factor. We don't have to go out to Starbucks and buy $5 and $6 coffee every single day. We can make our coffee at home. We can save money and we can get it to taste nearly just as good, if not better. So there's other things like on Amazon Prime. We can leave things in our shopping cart and leave it in there for 48 hours. Don't make it an impulse buy. Leave it in there. 48 hours later, if we need it, then we can get it, okay? So what we can do is we can make the most of our money and make it a lifestyle. This is more than just saving money. It's about creating a lifestyle and practicing it, making it a habit, and turning it into a full blown-out behavior. Assign each dollar a job. They can serve as soldiers working for the sake of your household. Once a person is out of debt, they should consider investing their money. As the great financial wizard Oracle of Omaha once said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, then you will work until you die. Tackling this journey known as finances can be daunting, but the benefits are enormous. The aspects of saving money and knowing how to handle one's finances can prove to be beneficial not only for yourself, but also as your family. Money is ingrained into our everyday lives that it's impossible not to think about. So why shouldn't we learn how to best manage our finances the best we know how and the best we can? By being patient and not impulsive is a great first step, along with creating a budget when it comes to needs versus wants. If we can incorporate the principles discussed today, then that will be a great foundation going forward on how to handle our money. When it comes down to it, we can either use money in a way that benefits us, or we can let it control us by getting behind the proverbial 8-ball, so to speak. And we can linger in debt because of it. We must have a desire to educate ourselves about how to handle our finances, because there are many factors riding on it, other than just money. You push button.